The second research question regarding determining awareness and media usage is of great interest to marketers and the team at Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi, as you know, it does help us identify where we want to spend our marketing dollars, as well as where our demographic is finding us and what social media platforms they are using. Now, with that being said, there are certain criteria that's most carefully considered in the research that we did that have different determinant factors regarding the results that we identified. So moving on, one of the questions that we segmented was if and how our consumers had heard about Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi. When in fact we identified that 82.8% of our consumers had in fact heard of Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi. It's important to understand that brand recognition is a key factor in consumer decision making, especially when consumers are comparing alternatives. We find that brand recognition can be a key determinant in any company's marketing strategy, thus offers a really great option for Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi that they had 82.8% yes in the results that we had analyzed. So moving on to the second portion of the determinant criteria was that of how did you learn about Painting with a Twist. We enabled our consumers and our respondents to answer via word of mouth, social media, or that they saw Painting with a Twist in person. Word of mouth held the most weight, and we also offered a qualitative section which enabled the respondents to align those benchmarks and also answer openly without any restrictions. The data that was collected from that section you will find in the word cloud. Those are just some of the words that some of our respondents kind of typed in when they were answering the question of how they learned about Painting with a Twist. So a unique way to differentiate the data. However, when you look at the data and you realize that over 60% of our respondents, determined that word of mouth was how they identified Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi. That is some really useful information for our team, and we found that to be a really key element in our data analytics. Now moving on to the Painting with a Twist marketing efforts. The respondents were given 8 choices of current Painting with a Twist marketing efforts and were asked to choose their method of discovery. There were a total of 58 respondents, and of that 58, 27 selected Facebook as their source of identification. Thus, 46.6% of respondents have seen Facebook's post from Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi, and this proves really successful for that particular marketing venture. However, we also identified that Instagram and window murals, they're both at 34.5%, were excellent choices for marketing as well, and then 15.5% had not used any of the offer choices, but there was a small portion of participants who used radio, which was 1.7%. And finally, we found that 10.3% found Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi via internet advertisement. The final portion of this segment for our marketing research was that of social media platforms. Marketing communications can be one source of information used to discover a brand or even a place of business, but there's also a second avenue regarding media, which is the social media aspect. So we examined various media and their level of influence on our respondents, just in terms of the social media platforms that were being used. We did provide a chart which lists what our respondents answered when they were asked what social media platforms they currently use, and regarding that data, we found some pretty interesting results. So our data illustrates that the majority of participants listed Facebook and Instagram, both at 84.5% as their main social media platform. Now, however, Snapchat came in very close at 79.3%, which is right there neck and neck with Facebook and Instagram. The percentages of respondents using Twitter and Pinterest were at 58.6 and 55.2 respectively. And finally, only 1.7 of respondents utilized the platform, which was not listed. So this data offers some excellent insight as to where we can target and allocate our marketing budget for Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi. If we have that many of our respondents that are in our demographic and are using Facebook, well, we need to allocate some of our marketing budget accordingly, and hopefully that will help to improve the business that is received at Painting with a Twist Corpus Christi. So thank you very much for listening to this section, and we'll see you next time.